Yo, what's up, y'all? It's your man Ken Billions on the check-in. I'm not gonna be with you long. I just wanted to come through, spit some bars real quick. Hopefully it resonates with you. Hopefully you can feel it. Alright, so before I even get into what I want to say, make sure you're going to kenbillions.com, become a member, fool with me, rock with me. I got some dope content on there, and the content on kenbillions.com, it ain't nowhere else. It's just there. You know what I'm saying? So make sure you go to kenbillions.com. You know what I'm saying? Rock with me. If you're looking for my content, that's where it's at. It's on kenbillions.com. Exclusive content. The content is not nowhere else. Straight to you. You know what I'm saying? The member. And also, I got Dealings Over Feelings Part 2 coming soon. I'm dragging my feet a little bit on it because I want it to be right. So, but make sure you go to kenbillions.com, because when Dealings Over Feeling 2 come out, people going to be mashing for their ration. People going to be getting extras, all right? But yo, what I wanted to talk to you about was what happened to the dream. And I'm asking that question because I know everybody was super excited January 1st. This year, everybody was making plans. You know, this year, everybody had it figured out. This year, everybody was, had good enthusiasm and good energy. So I want to know what happened. You know, what happened to the goals? What happened to the plan? What happened to the mission? The year is not over. It's still your year. So what happened? What's the difference between last week of December, when you was highly motivated and you was looking forward to the future? You was looking forward to the changes that you was going to make, whether that was financially or whether that was career. Maybe you was trading spouses. Whatever you was going to do, you was real optimistic about that. So I want to know what happened. What's the difference between now and then? What's the difference between today and January 1st, when you were super motivated? What happened in between then and now? And before this year ends, I think it would be wise for you to do an audit and audit yourself and ask yourself, yo, what happened? You know what I'm saying? Because the 1st of January, you was very motivated. You was claiming this year as your year. You was claiming this year like this year was going to be different than the rest of the years. You was claiming this year like this year you was going to make a turn for the better. This year was supposed to set you up for the next 20 years. And you was super motivated about that. What happened though? What's the difference between you now and you then? And this is a question you want to ask yourself and be 100 with yourself. It's a self-audit. Nobody could check you but you. All right? So what happened? You know, do that audit before the year ends, because you don't want to come January 1st saying the same exact thing. You don't want to get to January 1st making the same old promises, because you'll be lying to yourself. And yo, sometimes you just got to go and do the shadow work and cry. Sometimes you got to get real hard on yourself. Sometimes it got to get a little bit ugly, but it's necessary to go to the next level though. Because yo, again, you don't want to get to the first week of January. You don't want to sound like them. Don't sound like them, all right? Everybody's going to be getting gym memberships. Everyone's going to diet. Everyone's going to do their budget again. Everyone's going to look at their vision board again. And I'm not knocking that. But I'm telling you, whoever's hearing my voice, don't be like them, right? Don't wait till then to claim the year. Instead, just continue what you've been doing, but figure out how the hell did you get to this spot right here. When I look at my goal list, there's some things that, you know what? If I was to pass away right now, I wouldn't be too happy, because I got uncompleted missions. And then I have to audit why I didn't get the mission done. And after I make all the excuses, I got to bring it back to myself and keep it a buck and say, if things wasn't completed, then I didn't want it like I claimed that I wanted. And that's super hard to admit that, you know what? I don't want it. No one want to say that. Like, no one wants to admit they're scared of success. Shit, I can raise my hand. Success is super scary, because there's no you don't need a manual to be poor. You don't need a manual to be dysfunctional. You don't need instructions. It just flows. But to be successful, there's some habits there. And each successful person is going to tell you something different. The things that they share are similar, but it's different. And the road to success is super different, but it's the same. It requires discipline. It requires sacrifice. It requires learning and unlearning something. It requires a shift in thinking, an upgrade in consciousness. It requires location change, people change, lifestyle change, right? Poverty and being hurting and being on the bottom, being a bottom feeder, it doesn't require none of that, right? So success is super scary. And a person is a liar if they don't come from a successful background and they're attempting to be successful and they say they never got scared. That's a lie because it's so uncertain over there. And as much as we talk about self-worth, we still care what people think. You know what I'm saying? We still care what people from the 5th grade got to say about us. People from high school got to say about us, our mamas, daddies, old exes. These are the reasons why we're not as motivated as we was at the beginning of the year. You got to do that audit. Again, what happened between now and then? You was hella excited, right? You was posting memes. You had a song, everything. You had the soundtrack. You had theme music. You had the energy. But what happened? March happened. April happened. May happened. See, the difference between now and then, there's a feeling in the air at the beginning of January that motivates you. You know what I'm saying? There's a thing. Everyone's saying Happy New Year. And if you live in the Northeast or a place that snows, the winter time hits you. It's cold and everybody's in good spirits. So you can ride off that energy for a second, right? About making changes because pretty much everybody's saying the same thing. Everybody's on the same thing, right? So it's easy to be super motivated because that's kind of the spirit of the country at that particular time, to be motivated. But what happens when you get around March, you get around April, you get around May, right? The cookouts start to happen. Spring break starts to happen. Life is still happening, right? But the theme of change is not in the air like it was at the beginning of January. So now the only thing that could push you into the summertime with the same motivation and the same drive is will. Okay? So the difference I answered the question that I asked you. The difference between then and now is will. At the beginning of the year, I could raise my hand too. I'm not exempt either. There's something about the top of the year, you feeling yourself, you talking ish. You got your new fits, lineup is crazy, right? You ready to go into the year, right? The income tax is about to pop, so you finna have a couple dollars. Temp tags is finna be on the roll. I already know. It's a feeling in the air, and you super motivated, right? And you like, I'm about to go get it, I'm about to win. And it just goes like this, right? The reason for that is because to carry through the rest of the year and beyond, it's going to take something that's beyond motivation, right? Motivation is not going to get you to where you got to go because motivation it just feels good in the moment, right? I could be motivating some people right now, but then in 2 days, they're going to be back to their regular because I can be the spark, but the thing that's going to keep you going and keep your legs moving, you gotta hunger for something. It gotta be an urge. It gotta be something that is like making your stomach hurt. That's how the DNA of achievers. You gotta want something more than other people. It can't just be dough, right? Idiots have money. You could get money and then what? Look hella corny, right? It's gotta be something driving you to reach further and further and further, and that's will. Right? And it's the will that's going to get you out the bed when you don't want to. It's the will that's going to take you home when you really want to hang out because you focus on a mission and you focus on a destination. It's the will that's going to make you be quiet when everyone else is talking and speak when everyone else is being quiet. It's the will that's going to make you do the last set. It's the will. And because the conversation of trauma is happening so much and people are opting in and raising their hands and admitting that they're traumatized, what that is doing, it's killing the will. There's nothing to activate the will. And the will is something that we get it from the muscle. I can't even explain where the will comes from. It's a feeling. It's an urge to do more. But once you start raising your hand and you admit, oh, snap, I'm traumatized. Oh, snap, something happened to me in the past and I'm holding on to it. That's the reason why my life is the way it is. That's terrible gasoline for the will. You need powerful language to keep the will active. You need powerful experiences to keep the will active. You need fire stimulus to keep the will active. New smells, new sounds, right? You don't want to opt in to pain. That's like you use pain to fuel you. You don't use pain as a lifestyle, as a way to live, as a religion. That doesn't help the will. Now, I'm answering the question that I already asked you. What's the difference between you then and you now? When you was ready for the world, when you was, you want to go conquer. You had it all planned out. You was checking off goals. What happened between then and now? Audit yourself and see what happened to your willpower, right? Not just see what happened to your willpower. Also, have you opted in to social justice warrioring? Have you opted in to the Trauma Olympics? And it's so easy to do it. All you got to do is watch television. All you got to do is watch the news. All you got to do is tap into a group identity. And it's Trauma Olympics. And in this Olympics, everybody gets a gold medal. Everybody gets a gold star, right? Everybody gets something for showing up and participating in the Trauma Olympics. It's more awards in the Trauma Olympics than it is in the Will Olympics. See, because when we got to use our will, what we're getting up for and what we're chasing is something that's 5 years from now, 6, 7 years from now, 10 years from now. You see the difference? The Trauma Olympics, the Victim Olympics, the Welfare Olympics, the Pain Body Olympics gives awards right now, right? It'll look out for you right now. It'll serve your needs right now. It'll give you dopamine right now, right? But the will, the fuel that is going to drive you and I to the next level, our rewards is later, right? Because you got to get up and be ugly. You got to put your gloves on. You got to put your head down. You got to be disciplined. That's not instant gratification, right? The trick is, and I'm going to keep it a buck with you. It's something that I struggle with. But I'm almost there, right? But I'm going to share it with the parts that I do know. The trick is the same dopamine that we get from doing instant gratification, to get that, produce that same dopamine, right? Being disciplined. Produce that same dopamine for sacrifice, right? Produce that same dopamine for doing the right thing at the right time, right? The same thing that produces a high when we blowing cash. Come on, man. I know y'all can relate. Don't sit up here and act like I'm the only one that done got a lump sum of money, right? And done splurged, right? Don't act like I'm the only one. Am I the only one that been through that, right? You get a direct deposit and that feeling that you feel, yo, you right at the mall, you copping shoes, you copping, that only happened to me? All right, well, cool. All right. Well, I'm going to speak for me. That feeling when I go be irresponsible like that dopamine, that feeling of blowing cash, that feeling of standing on the club with the bottle in my hand, going crazy, turning up, getting it in, right? That feeling, create that feeling working out, right? Create that feeling, not saving money, using money to make money, right? The discipline to pay it forward. Super hard. But that's the secret right there for the will. So we need correct dopamine to fuel us. We don't need Trauma Olympics, because that's going to hurt the will, right? You don't want to get to January 1st saying the same exact thing that you said last year. But I understand though. I understand the game. You start living life, especially as a parent, someone's spouse, whatever it is, it's people pulling you different ways. You start to abandon your vision board. You start to abandon the thing that your journal where your goals is at. I get it. I get it because life's happening. Life's happening. If anybody gets it, I get it. But what I'm telling you is it's about will activation, because will is something that you can't touch. It comes from inside out, right? So we got to activate that will. It's like a volcano. You need something to jumpstart that thing. And I'm telling you what happens. The thing that kills the will, is the trauma church, right? Watching the wrong thing on television, taking the wrong phone call. This is why I got a paid line, 888-565-8734. That's the Nothing But Game hotline. I have that hotline because so nobody can't get their shit off on me. Because if I take the wrong phone call and that frequency not right, and they drain me and they peel me, right? They leave the conversation energized. I leave the conversation drained, right? So to eliminate that, so someone can't dump on me, fair exchange, no robbery, you're going to have to call that hotline, because I don't got time on a regular to answer the phone, right? And somebody get their thing off on me. Nah. See, they get what they needed, but I walk away drained. And what happens when you're the only you in your life? What happens when you are the fuel for other people? If you're drained, where do you go get your boost from? If you're drained, where do you go eat, right? If you're drained, come on, man. I know I'm not the only one. If you're drained, how do you get back up? When you fall flat on your face, if you're the only you that you know, how you going to get up? See, this is why you got to be careful with that phone. All things are connected. It ain't just watching something on television. It ain't just when we slumming, eating out. When we dumpster dive, that's a term I used a few years ago. It's called dumpster dive, okay? It's when we're slumming, all right? And when you come from the bottom, oftentimes slumming is the default. And you don't even know that you're slumming. Kicking it with people from the past that ain't talking about nothing, right? This is how you know when you dumpster diving. When you entertaining old vagina and old penis, you are dumpster diving, because it's old for a reason. Now think about it. Who have you slept with this year, right? Who have you slept with this year? What if the partner that you've had this year is the reason why you haven't finished what you started at the beginning of the year? Is that possible? Because all things are connected. Because when we do our audit and we take accountability for where we dropped the ball at, eventually we're going to have to look at the cables that's connected to us that is using us for our power. Now, it's two types of cables, positive cables and negative cables. We all need to be hooked up to something, but we want to make sure there's reciprocity in the things that we hooked up to. That's a positive cable. That means you're attached to somebody that is same. You feed them and they feed you. It's same, right? But what about the negative cables? The cable that's stuck in your hand, the people that use you to lift up everybody. Or what about the cable that's stuck in your brain and they use you for all your information, and the way that you got your information was through trial and error, or you paid for it? Or what about the cable to your heart when everybody needs them good words and that nurturing and that love, and they know who to call on, but it's not they're not going to push that energy back to you, right? See, them cables be all over the body. Or what about that cable that's hooked up to your vagina or hooked up to your penis, and you laying down with somebody that really ain't even your partner? I'm not saying y'all got to be together, but that ain't even your partner though. That ain't even your friend. You sleeping with a stranger. Now, why am I talking about this? Because this has everything to do with where we're at right now. All things are connected. Make sure you go to that KenBillions.com and become a member to get that exclusive content. Players fuck up. To get that exclusive content. You know what I'm saying? Go to kenbillions.com. But listen, the reason why I'm going far left and I'm going far right is because everything is connected to each other. Every single thing is connected to each other. What we eating, who we sleep with, the books we read, and the movies we watch, and the phone calls we entertain. Every single thing is connected, right? So it could be anything. It could be anything. You want to put a paywall around every single thing you do. Like I got a paywall around my phone, right? Because I feel like when it comes to the game, when it comes to the game, I'm one of the best that ever did it. That's the thing that I have with myself. So I put a paywall around my phone. So people just can't call and have access to me like that. Why? Because I'm looking at myself different with a lot of value. Okay? I'm just giving you an example. Whatever it is going on with you, you need a paywall, bruh. You need a paywall, sis. Even if you haven't figured out how to monetize it, you still need some type of firewall around you that'll keep you in line with your goals. If not, you're gonna dumpster dive because that's the default when you come from the bottom. It's a self-destruct chip that's inside of us that when we get up, we just get the heebie-jeebies and we find the nearest dumpster and jump off the roof right into the dumpster. It is what it is. When you watch a cop kill someone on TV, that's dumpster diving. When you inherit other people's problems that you don't even know, that's dumpster diving. When you're in the comment on social media thinking that, yo, that comment section, your voice is being heard, that's dumpster diving. Mind your business. Mind your business. Because attention comes from mind and you only got a little bit of it. You can't just give it up to anybody. People got to earn that. Now, why did I go way over there? Because this, what I'm talking about, has everything to do with what? How it starts at the beginning of the year and finishes at the end of the year. It's all connected. It's all connected. So, after you do your audit, and you need to do your audit, what cables are you hooked up to? Positive or negative charge? And be honest. Be honest. Now, if you're fine with the regular, I ain't even mad at you. No judgment, no shade. I'm not going to be a person that's sitting up there banging on people with jobs or banging on Christians. None of that. Pick your life and make decisions and don't look back. But if you're a person that would like to put your name up on the scoreboard, the type of scoreboard 50, 60, 70, 100 years from now, when our bones turn to ashes, they say your name and you contributed something crazy to society. If that's you, then you're going to have to do an audit, okay? You're going to have to see how you got here so it don't happen again, all right? And be honest. Now, that audit may bring tears to your eyes because you may come to some revelations that you can't hide from. Maybe you need to 86 somebody. Maybe you need to get up out of there in a relationship. Maybe it's your parents. Maybe they're wrong. No disrespect to mom and dad, but what if they're wrong? What if the spouse that you hooking up with, what if, you know, the thirst and the need for companionship is coming at the expense of your dream? Maybe them IG pictures of family, maybe what if it ain't worth it at the expense of your dream? Are you okay with the collective if you suffer? That's things you got to ask yourself. I'm not telling you what to do or not do. But if you got a vision and you got a dream and you're not where you need to be, hell on earth is being an old person in that rocking chair, going back and forth, knowing that you left life on the table. There are some things worse than death. Unused potential is worse than death. Sitting on that porch or in that old folks' home, knowing that you was this close, and you didn't push it to the limit for whatever reason. That's hell on earth. Sitting up there and your body shutting down, but your mind is still 100% sharp, and the only thing you got left is memories, and you left life on the table, whatever that life is. Yo, you better go for it. Sis, bruh, homie, ma'am, you better go for it because this year is almost up. Then what? Then what? The 1st of January come and it's back to the same thing. It's my year. Nah, you don't want to do that. When January 1st come, you don't make no New Year's resolution. Only thing you doing is finishing what you already started. No judgment, no shade. I understand about tripping and falling. I understand about things not getting done. I understand about procrastination. I understand about all that. But we got to self-correct. What would a computer do? What would AI do? AI would always try to self-correct. AI would always never compromise itself and never compromise a mission. And we got to kind of start training ourselves to keep up with the technology that's going on. The technology is perfecting itself, and we have to do the same thing of perfecting itself. Ain't no time for trauma Olympics. Ain't no time for oppression stories. Ain't no time for getting behind a collective that don't do nothing for you individually. No such thing as a group casket, yo. That thing is for you and only you. Born alone, die alone. But while you're here, what? What's the play? Right? It's still your year. Right? You can finish this year, these next 2 months, November and December. You can have a production that triples and quadruples the last 10 months. All you got to do is believe. Right? Listen, I promise you. People are so distracted. Listen, if you do 50% focus, the gap between you and your peer group will be as wide as the Grand Canyon. Everybody is distracted. So it doesn't even take 100% focus. But God, what if you do 100? Even 75, you will lap the people in your circle. I promise you that. And if you don't, just go back to what you've been doing. What do you got to lose? All you're doing is betting on yourself. What do you got to lose? All right. So don't get to January 1st making New Year's resolutions. Finish what you started. Make sure everything is complete before you go on to the next thing. That's another form of procrastination. Trying to be over busy, trying to stack the plate, right? And you're not giving nothing, no intimacy. You don't have a relationship with none of the things you do. It's going to the next one, going to the next one. As if this thing is a YouTube video. Life is not a YouTube video, yo. You know what I'm saying? It's not an IG video where you could just go to the next thing. No, things need time. Things need nurturing. And I promise you, you'll laugh later. The key and the secret is to create that dopamine, the same feeling when you, the high you get from instant gratification. Use that in the mastery. Get high off achievement. Get high off a good day's work. You know what I mean? So don't wait till January 1st to make a New Year's resolution. Just finish what you started. All right? So check it out. If you like what you heard and you need a little more insight, make sure you hit my line. 888-565-8734. That's the number game hotline. It's 24 hours. The bat phone, as soon as I hear it ring, I jump out the bed for you, right? Put a little down to pick a little up, right? Take yourself serious, right? And go to kenbillions.com. Yo, become a member. I got content on there that does not exist anywhere else in the world. It's only for the subscribers. You know what I'm saying? Fair exchange ain't no robbery, right? Go ahead and dig in that purse just a little bit. All right, now I'm messing with you. My name is Ken Billions. I hope you like what you heard. Until the next time, peace.